I think it's probably more the rock and a hard place generation rather than the sandwich generation. We'll talk about that. Sandwich generation sounds sort of nice and, fluffy white bread and, peanut butter and jelly in there. It's hard places to be. And increasingly, of course, with both the aging of the population in terms of longevity and the number of caregivers available in terms of family caregivers, increasingly the burden of family caregiving is falling on one or two people in the family. Frankly, usually, statistically, we know the oldest daughter or the wife of the oldest son often is turfed with becoming the primary caregiver. We know an awful lot about sort of the impact of caregiving on individuals who find themselves in that place. The challenge is most women who find themselves in that caregiving mode don't necessarily even identify themselves as caregivers. So why is that? Well, it's because they're seeing their role as just being a daughter. And as the role grows and the toll is taken, the burden of caregiving just at some point catches up. And so by not self-identifying as a caregiver, the supports, the helps, the sort of outside encouragement and so forth isn't even available at that point. And so there's just a whole dynamic there. And so we'll have to unpack that a little bit with Laura from her lived experience. Lots of stats about this, though, and we know that it's a growing cohort. Somewhere between 3 and 3.5 million find themselves in the U.S. right now as primary caregivers of a senior.